Over the last week or so, I've heard an awful lot about this Politico story, the secret backstory of how Obama let Hezbollah off the hook. And it just so happens my hobby is researching narco-terrorism. And when I see a story like this, boy, I just have to dig in. And there's something, when I first read this story and looked at the dates and the map, something just sprung to my mind. And that is Elaine Chao, Donald Trump's transportation secretary. Could Elaine Chao's family be tied into this narco trafficking? I'll give you the evidence and you decide. So let's get started. We'll briefly go over this report where it's actually about how the Obama administration derailed an investigation into Hezbollah with narco-terrorism, weapons shipments, drugs, money laundering, and other criminal activities. They completely derailed this investigation in order to secure the nuclear deal, supposedly with Iran. Now, further down in part 1, it says a Lebanese arms dealer, a suspected top Hezbollah operative, whom agents believe reported to Russian President Vladimir Putin as a key supplier of weapons to Syria and Iraq, was arrested in Prague in the spring of 2014. But for the nearly 2 years he was in custody, top Obama administration officials declined to apply serious pressure on the Czech government to extradite him to the United States, even as Putin was lobbying aggressively against it. And scrolling down a little bit further, there's a copy of an indictment. The indictment was filed on March the 26th, 2014. Now, further down in this report, it says that this criminal enterprise emanates from Tehran outward into Latin America, Africa, Europe, and the United States via hundreds of legitimate businesses and front companies. And that's where this wonderful little map in part 2 of this report comes into play. In the yellow are the drugs. This is drug trafficking. Drugs from Colombia and Venezuela shipped to U.S. via Mexico. And we have from Colombia again to Europe. It looks like this arrow is pointing to Europe. Also, drugs are sent from Colombia and Venezuela to Europe via West Africa. Now, if I had a shipping company, say like Elaine Chao's dad does, I could ship, let's say, cocaine straight from Colombia right over here to Europe where the arms are coming from. Now, just to show you where the arms trafficking is coming from, I want to give you a report. Now, this report was done on July 28, 2016. I believe it's a shortened down version of a much larger report. I'll leave this in the description box below and you can check it out for yourself. There's a nifty little chart here that shows where the arms pipeline is going from to the Middle East. Now, the exports come from Croatia, Czech Republic, Serbia, Slovakia, Bulgaria, Romania, Bosnia, amongst other nations, to Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the UAE, and Turkey. And if you paid attention to my channel, in particular last year, I did quite a few reports that were explaining how the UAE, Turkey, Saudi Arabia were all involved in Operation Zero Footprint, shipping arms to Syria and Libya via Turkey, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia, as well as the UAE. Now, let's put this into perspective, shall we? The indictment was from March 26th, 2014. Now, it just so happens that the Ping Mei, Elaine Chao's dad's ship, was busted from the port of Santa Marta en route to the Netherlands in late August 2014. Santa Marta is actually in Colombia. So Hidden in the ship's chain locker amidst its load of coal bound for Europe were approximately 40 kilograms or about 90 pounds of cocaine. Now, isn't that amazing? Although the man was locked up for narco trafficking in the Czech Republic in March, it looks like the trafficking went on. Now, maybe Elaine Chao's dad didn't know about it, but he should be held responsible, because if I had a shipping company and if 90 pounds of cocaine was caught on my ship, I would probably still be in jail right now. Isn't it amazing that Elaine Chao's dad started his own shipping company in America, and because the United Nations and the Department of Agriculture and Forestry used his shipping company so many times, his shipping company became one of America's largest shipping company within 10 years. It looks as though, to me, maybe the UN has been using James Chao's shipping company all along to distribute drugs. Is that possible? I'm thinking it certainly is possible, especially when you look at the fact that her family owns a shipping business that, while headquartered in New York, operates 17 ships flagged in Liberia and Hong Kong. The ships are owned by subsidiaries of the main business now called Foremost Group, and most of the subsidiaries are registered in the Marshall Islands, which is a secretive jurisdiction where companies disclose little about their finances or officers. And although Elaine Chao supposedly is no longer connected to the Foremost Group, it has remained a family concern. James Chao, her father, is still the chairman, and Elaine Chao's younger sister, Angela, is deputy chairwoman and runs the operation. Another sister, Christine, is Foremost general counsel, and a third sister, May, was a director of a subsidiary that dissolved in 2006. And honestly, I could go on and on and on about the relationship between James Chao and the former Chinese president, how they went to college together at Shanghai Jiao Tong University, how Bill and Hillary Clinton with Chinagate and James Rady and the Lippo Group were connected financially with Mitch McConnell as well as Elaine Chao. So is it possible that hidden within this backstory of how Obama let Hezbollah off the hook is how the Chao family has made their fortune by shipping arms and cocaine throughout the world for the UN and the New World Order? You be the judge. Let me know what your thoughts are. This is Call of Duty Goddess signing off, and as always, I've got your 6.